لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Imam Zia from the Islamic Center of Irving recording for the Prophet's Path YouTube channel. The subject that I've been asked to talk about is the issue of music. And this is a very, very sensitive topic, especially in this day and age, when many people have made it a habit to listen to the music in their car, on their iPhones, on their iPods, on their MP3 players, on their phones. Whatever it is, it has become a bit of a habit that people have adopted. Now, this is something that we have to understand is something that takes a person away from the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the main thing that we have to remember. That something that takes us away from the dhikr, something that takes us away from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is it something that we should encourage? Is it something that we should adopt? Is it something that we should make it a habit? So, this is the first question that we need to ask ourselves. Because we're going to be doing one of two things. Either we're going to make our time beneficial and use it to listen to lectures, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Quran, or we're going to waste our time by listening to music. And let's face it, any time that music is listened to is actually time wasted. So, even if a person is driving in his car, he can use that time productively to listen to a lecture or listen to the Quran or something which will increase him in his knowledge. Music will not do that. So this is the first point. The second point is that many people give the proof of the Prophet ﷺ allowing the girls to beat their drums, etc. at the time of Eid. The hadith in question actually talks, if I would just mention the whole hadith, the Prophet ﷺ was lying down, his head covered in a blanket, and some girls were playing drums and singing joyous songs of Eid. Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu came in and scolded them and said that the instruments of shaitan are being played in front of the Prophet ﷺ. So the Prophet ﷺ, he stuck his head out of the blanket and said, "Leave them, O Abu Bakr, because it is the day of Eid." So this hadith is used by some people to validate the permissibility of music. However, we have to understand that why did Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala object to the music in the first place? Obviously, he must have had a reason to do so, and he would have known that the Prophet ﷺ disliked it. That's why he became angry. The Prophet ﷺ made an exception because it was the day of Eid. So we can derive from this that yes, on joyous occasions like the days of Eid, etc., the days of weddings, etc., it will be permissible to play that kind of music that the Prophet ﷺ approved of. In this case, it was drums, which is known as daf. So that would be permissible only on occasion and not as an everyday habit. Because when we go back to the first point, we are actually wasting our time. The third thing is that the music of today, it's not just music anymore, unfortunately. Many of these so-called singers, they are actually promoting things which are attuned to or close to devil worship. And this is something that we need to understand very, very clearly. Many of these singers, and I'm not talking about conspiracy theories, I'm not talking about some mumbo jumbo that you just come across the internet. This is the reality that many of these so-called singers are actually agents of the shaitan, and they actually promote satanic rituals in their music. They promote the worship of the devil, and And obviously this is something that is not healthy for a Muslim to be listening to or participating in. And if I tell you a story which happened in our locality, you will be quite shocked and you will be amazed that how this music can affect a person negatively. So we had a sister who was walking through a park. She was using her iPad or her iPhone, and she was downloading and listening to music by a specific singer whose name I don't want to mention, but she was listening to that type of music. And she was then attacked by a shaitan. She was attacked by a devil and possessed by the devil. When she came and complained about what had happened to her and the ill effects that she was having because of this possession, the Shaykh that actually treated her through the ruqya and the Quranic recitation started talking to this jinn, and this jinn said that this girl was walking through the park listening to this particular musician who is a devil worshipper, and because of the fact that she was listening to this music, we decided to attack her and possess her, and it made a way easy for us to get into her system and into her body, because her body was actually willing to accept this possession because of the fact that she was listening to such music. So this is a very, very crucial point I would want everybody to pay attention to, that you are actually allowing the shaitan to come into your system by listening to this type of music. Another story that I'd like to relate to you is when I used to live in Florida. A person, he called me and he said, my son is going through difficult times, he's always stuck in his room and he is always angry, and I think he may be possessed by a jinn. So I said, okay, I'm going to come to visit. And when I got to the house, the father, he directed me towards the child's bedroom. And when I got to the bedroom, in those days they didn't have MP3 players and things of that nature. His whole wall was covered with music CDs. And basically all this kid was doing was listening to music day in and day out. And because of that, it had affected him mentally. So his father thought that he was possessed by a jinn. I said very, very clearly, look, all this music that he's listening to, it's garbage, it's affecting his mind, and you need to have him stop listening to it. The next point, that the music of nowadays, especially the hip-hop, the rap music, it is a very angry type of music. It uses curse words. It uses words which you would be ashamed of repeating in front of your parent, in front of the imam. And because of that, a person, when he often hears these words, it negatively affects him. It makes him an angry person. Internally, he uses those words again and again. It becomes part of his system. It becomes natural for him that when something of a calamity happens to him, or a difficulty happens to him, instead of using the word astaghfirullah or subhanallah or alhamdulillah or praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, instead he will use the F word, and this will become a natural tendency, and he will not even think about it. And in addition to that, the ill effect of this type of music, it will make a person angry and frustrated all the time. And this is actually the root cause of many kids who are disobedient to their parents and who do not listen to their parents. The very reason for it is that they are listening to this music. So if your child is not paying attention to you, if your child is displaying hostility towards you, then you need to pay attention to what kind of music he's listening to, because that music is affecting him, and he or she is becoming an angry person because of it. And trust me, all you need to do, and I use this as an experiment, go to any YouTube channel and or any website where you can watch music, and just look up the hip hop and rap and things of that nature, and you will find these kind of lyrics that you would be ashamed to repeat in front of somebody that you respect. And then on top of that, the lifestyle that is portrayed in these music videos is the lifestyle of a person who's driving around in flashy cars, in convertibles, and all dollar notes all spread around on his bed. It's basically belittling the life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you and being ungrateful for the blessings that Allah has given you. And this is why many people who listen to this music all the time, they are pushed into striving for that kind of a lifestyle by any means possible. And you've heard these lyrics before: get rich or die trying. Okay, you know who the singer is. I don't need to repeat that for you. But there's an album which is called Get Rich or Die Trying. What does that mean? That means that a person is trying to get rich using any means possible, whether it means robbing a convenience store, whether it means robbing a bank, whether it means mugging an old lady in the street, or selling drugs. A person is using any means possible to become rich. And this is the theme that is pushed in these music videos. This is a very dangerous situation to be in, and it makes a person ungrateful for the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed him with. In addition to that, these same music videos belittle women. The H word is used to describe our sisters. Our sisters in faith, our sisters in humanity are being degraded using these music videos and by these people that many of us look up to and strive to emulate and copy. So all in all, the summary of what I'm trying to say is, I'm not going to throw around Quranic verses and hadith. I'm just trying to push across a lesson to you that this music, it has a very detrimental effect on your character, on your mental state of mind, your attitude, and your appreciation for life, and it will make you depressed and sad, and it will make you a person who is devoid from the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is basically, and I'll just finish off with one Quranic verse, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He describes that a person, man a'rada an dhikri fa inna lahu ma'ishatan dhanka, that the person who turns away from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that he will get a very tight life. What does that tight life mean? It means a person always feels dejected. He feels helpless. He feels that nothing is going for him. He feels no peace inside his heart. He feels that there's no happiness in life. This is what is meant by ma'ishatan dhanka. And if you are listening to this type of music all the time, then you will have those feelings, I guarantee you. On the flip side, the alternative side, switch that music off and start listening to the Quran, start listening to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will feel inside you a peace, you will feel inside you the tranquility, you will feel inside you a nur that will guide you, and you will feel happiness, gratitude for the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, and you will feel happy with the people around you. You will not show hostility and anger and frustration towards them. I will finish off my talk with these words. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives me and you and everyone the tawfiq to understand and practice what I have said. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
نور على مر الزمان تألقا وأضاء للدنيا طريقا مشرقا وهدى من الرحمن يهدينا به للصالحات وللمكارم والتقى.